Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Taking Back You Momcast. Hi guys, how you doing? It's Dani Carter-Iddens, your host this week and every single week. And today we are going to talk about being kinder to yourself and what that means. Listen, many of you right now, you are in either the thick of virtual learning, trying to decide if sending your child to school was the right thing to do, or, you're just wondering how you're going to get through this week without feeling like you are going to lose your mind. And trust me, you are not alone. We are currently in the midst, and we've talked about this several times before, but it bears repeating. We are currently in the midst of what one of my friends called an unoptimizable situation. And I just love that term. It's unoptimizable. There's no good way to go about this. And because we're mamas, we are constantly trying to make things better. But listen, sometimes things are just the way they are. And we have to kind of figure out how to live with that, how to deal with that, and how to forgive ourselves when things don't go exactly like we want them to. So today, I'm going to share with you some ways for you to flip your script, okay? There are ways that will help you remember to be kinder to yourself because listen, life is tough right now. We're all feeling that. We're all in the same boat. I will meet you on the other side of the intro. Coming to you straight from Indianapolis, aka the Circle City, this is the Taking Back You Momcast. The Taking Back You Momcast is a witty, authentic, and sometimes sarcastic podcast for millennial mamas who are in the thick of mom life. And I'm your host, Dani Carter-Iddens, wife, millennial mama, motivational speaker, and motherhood advocate. I don't know why, but I just love that intro. I mean, I made it, but you know what I mean? I just love it. And before we get started, just like we do every single week, I want to thank you so much. I just want to thank you all so much for coming back and for listening and supporting the Taking Back You Momcast each and every week. I had someone reach out to me earlier today because I posted this episode later in the day than I normally do on Wednesdays. And so she private messaged me and she's like, "Hey girl, where's the episode? I went on Spotify. It was not there. Are things okay?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine. I'm just running late, mom life." And she was just like, "Oh, okay, good." So I appreciate that. I thank you so much for that. And listen, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast and listen, share it with all the mamas. Share it with any mama that you think would benefit from what we talk about each and every week. And don't forget to rate and review us so that we can know what we're doing right and what we need to improve. So this week we are talking about being kinder to yourself, okay? I'm going to give you some ways on how to be kinder to yourself. But first, I'm going to give you a little bit of psychology because you know me, I'm ever the teacher. I want to explain to you why you're being so hard on yourself right now. And there are a lot of reasons why you're being so hard on yourself, but I'm going to give me like three. I'm going to give you like three of them, okay? Three reasons, something to think about why you are being so hard on yourself and how that is translating to you not being as kind to yourself as you could be during this time. So listen, we've talked about it before on the show. We're going to talk about it again, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it even more as time goes on. But the last few months have been a doozy, okay? So let's just put that out there right now. Let's all agree the last few months have been a doozy. And like I said at the opening of this episode, we are in what is known as an unoptimizable situation right now, okay? There's no great way to do it. There's no perfect way to do it. We are all just trying to get by. And so what ends up happening is that you are putting yourself, this is probably your first thing, is that you're probably putting yourself last on the list that, of things that get taken care of. I'm like this. You put yourself very last because, after your kids, spouses, family pets, parents, in-laws, extended family, after all them, friends, all this, then you're like, okay, well now let me sit down and figure out what I can do with myself. And you guys, that's bad. Okay. You've heard me say this before. It's the title of an entire episode. You cannot pour from an empty cup. okay? You just cannot do that. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. So if you are not practicing self-care, if you are not filling your cup back up, then that means that you are not going to be able to do for all the other people in your life that you care about. And you're going to be empty and you're going to be like, I need to fill up, but I got to prioritize. I got to prioritize myself so that I can be there for other people, okay? You need to practice self-care. Now listen, self-care, I've said this a million times and I will say it a million more. It is not bubble baths and candles. Now listen, if that's the way you feel more like yourself again, then you go right ahead, girl. You take your bubble bath. Frankly, bubble baths make me hot. They make me sweaty and I don't really like them, and candles scare me because I was in a fire in college. So, but you do you, boo, okay? Whatever you need to do to help you feel more like yourself again, that is what self-care is, okay? So make sure you're not putting yourself at the very end of the list, because that kind of stuff starts to build up and it really depletes your resources, okay? The second thing is that if you are like me, and you probably are because you're listening to this show, you are probably super used to things going the way you planned them. But 2020 is not here for that. 2020 is not trying to hear about that. 2020 is not the year for you. If you like when things go exactly how you plan them, then you're probably struggling, like you're on the struggle bus in 2020. I get it though. I totally understand. I too am a rider of the struggle bus. Okay, I get it. We as perfectionists right now, we are on the struggle bus. We might as well just buy our our quarterly pass and just be like, okay, this is where we're going to be. And that's simply because things can't and they won't go our way. It's literally just like a fact at this point right now, okay? So here's what I want you to do. Instead of focusing on all the things that are not going right, I want you to focus on all the things that are going right. So I want you to get a piece of paper, get a pen. I know I don't like to give you guys homework because, you know how I feel about giving moms homework. We have a lot of homework as it is already, okay? But I want you to do this assignment. If not for me, do it for you, okay? I want you to write down all of the blessings and positive things that have come from 2020, okay? Just from 2020, and if you want to narrow it down even more, just from the pandemic. What has happened that's positive? For me, I got to spend so much time with my husband. One of my biggest complaints, when I used to work at the studio, I loved working at the studio, but I worked evenings. So my husband worked all day, and then I would get up at night and I would go teach in the evenings. And then by the time I actually got to, sit down with my husband and spend time with him, we were both, completely wiped out, completely tired. And so I got like 6 months with my husband and we didn't have anywhere to go. We didn't have anything to do. And we just hung out and it was awesome. And we got to hang out with our kid and it was awesome. And we got to hang out with our dog and it was awesome. And there were a lot of great things that happened during that time period. And so just taking time to step back and being like, okay, there's a lot of things that didn't go right, but there's also a lot of cool things that happen, acknowledging those things and, really seeing those for the blessings that they are and being, having gratitude, showing gratitude for those things. And the final thing, and this is a big one about, this is why you're so hard on yourself, is because you allow others to make the mistakes that you won't allow yourself to make. Okay, so I'm the same way. I do it too. And, really what it comes down to is that you're more willing to forgive other people, but not yourself. Okay, and if that's the case, you got to get that figured out like super, super quick. All right, because, if you are so willing to forgive others for the exact same mistakes that you make yourself, you got to get that in check. You got to figure out why that is. Why are you so willing to give grace to someone else that you're not willing to give to yourself? All right. Always realize that the first person you have to kind of forgive is yourself, because if you don't, then, you're not going to be able to see all the good that you are doing. You're not going to be able to enjoy all the hard work that you put into running your life. Like, because listen, we're moms. We are running. I mean, 99.9% of the time we are running the show. Okay, and there's a lot of great things that are happening, and so that means that if you are running the show 24/7 and something goes wrong every now and again, like that's just common sense. Like that's gonna happen. Not everything can be perfect, and this is again rooted from our our constant need to be perfectionists. So I want you to understand that you deserve the same compassion that you give to other people. And remember this, I say it all the time, but remember this: if you wouldn't say it to your friend, then don't say it to yourself. Okay, so going over those again really fast, this is probably some of the reasons. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but some of the reasons that you're being hard on yourself right now is that you're putting yourself last on the list of things that need to get taken care of. And you're a perfectionist. You're used to things going the way you want them to. And listen, 2020 is not your year for that. And finally, you're allowing other people's mistakes to happen. But when you make those same mistakes, you're getting mad at yourself. Okay, so that's why you're being so hard on yourself. So now I'm going to give you some ways to be kinder to yourself. Okay, now some of these you're going to be like, girl, I don't have time for that. And let me tell you something. The fact that you are saying that you don't have time for some of these ways is exactly why, why you're where you are right now. I had this conversation with my husband just this morning. You make time for the things that you care about. You set priorities and then you go after those. So if you're saying, I don't have time for this, then what that really means is that you're saying, I don't want to do that. Okay, because I am the kind of person, and I know a lot of people in my circle are, is that when we want to do something, we find the time, and when we don't want to do something, magically we don't find the time. You know what I mean? We make it happen. You make it happen. We're moms. We are very good at making things happen when they need to happen, even in the most unoptimizable of situations. Okay, so these are, some of the ways that you can stop being so hard on yourself, okay? And I need to keep these in mind too. I've had to remind myself, I have to write these on my mirror in my bathroom because I also need to keep these in mind. The first thing is that you need to invest in yourself. Now, what does that look like? When I say invest in myself, this, if you'll notice, this coincides very well with the first reason why you are being so hard on yourself. So the first reason why you're being so hard on yourself is that you're not putting yourself on the list of things that needs to get taken care of. And so now I'm saying the way to do that, the way to add yourself to the list is that you need to invest in yourself. Take 15 to 30 minutes a day reading or listening to a book. I get it. Sometimes reading a book is just not happening at this point in our lives. So listen to it. Listen to the book on tape. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And, I'm going to throw this out there. This is what I did whenever, and what I do whenever I find myself in like a situation is I read the Bible. Okay. Just throwing that out there. YouVersion app has an awesome, you can type in like what's going on in your life in the search, and then they will pull up a bunch of Bible verses that will help you with that. Okay. So I use that feature all the time. And listen, even if you need to wake up just a little bit earlier than the kiddos do, trust me, this will help you get back to yourself. I absolutely suggest doing this. The second thing you can do is you can learn a new hobby or learn a new skill. I've shared before, I'm already certified. I'm a certified fitness instructor, but I really wanted to get a specialization in yoga. So that's what I'm doing right now. I decided, hey, I'm going to get the specialization in yoga and Pilates just because they came together. And I've been wanting to do that for ages, but I kept putting it off. And then I realized I even put it off during the pandemic. So when I had 6 months when I was sitting there like dum-de-dum-dum-dum, I still didn't do it, okay? So that lets me know that I wasn't prioritizing it back then because I had all the time in the world. But now I'm making it a priority. I'm making myself a priority, learning a new skill. That is really helping me kind of say like, oh, okay, all right, I'm worthy. I deserve it. What is that? from Saturday Night Live in the 90s. I might lose some of you because some of you might be too young to remember this, but what is it? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. And that brings me to my second thing that you can do to be kinder to yourself. And this one is another homework assignment, but it's a great one. I want you to stand in front of the mirror, whether it's a bathroom mirror or you have a full-length mirror, whatever. And I want you to stand in front of that mirror, and I want you to tell yourself what you like about you. Okay, it sounds silly, but it really works. I do this once a month. I stand and I look at myself and I say, you know what, Dani? I literally talk to myself like it's not me. I would talk to my friend if I would tell my friend Allison, and it's her birthday today, happy birthday, Allison. My friend Allison has the most gorgeous head of hair, of brown hair you've ever seen, dark brown hair you've ever seen in your life. And so I would tell her, like, I love your hair. I think you have the most beautiful hair ever. Well, how weird is it that we would tell somebody else that, but we would never say that to ourselves if we have something about ourselves that we like? Most of us, especially as women, we've been taught that that's being, like, conceited, or that's being selfish, or that's, only thinking about yourself, or being prideful. It is not being prideful to have things about yourself that you like. There is nothing wrong with that. You are God's handiwork. He made you awesome. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so you need to acknowledge that. You need to be like, yeah, girl, you know what? I do have a great butt. And listen, I do. I love my butt. I have a wonderful butt, and my husband will back me up, no pun intended, on that. And that's okay. Like, I'm here for it. I also happen to love my fingers. And that's okay. Like, I think I have cute little fingers, and I have cute little ears too. There we go. See, I said it. And my wrists are adorable. Can you tell I've done this exercise before? And when you do that, you feel so much better, and it really does work. Just trust me on this. Just saying the things that you like about yourself. It's okay to like things about yourself, okay? So please do that this week. Stand in front of the mirror. Tell you what you like about you. It doesn't even have to be anything physical. It could be like, you know what, Susie. I don't know. I'm just picking somebody out in the audience. You know what, Susie? I really like your sense of humor. And you say that to yourself. How awesome is that? How great does that make you feel? I feel great for Susie, and I just made that person up. She's not even real. But you know what? I bet you there's somewhere in the world there's a funny Susie, and you do you, boo. You keep going, okay? And speaking of funny, the last thing that you can do to be kinder to yourself is to take a break to laugh. I have watched so many comedies, romantic comedies, stand-up comedians, you named it, over the past 7-8 months, okay? We started watching way more comedy. We always loved comedy. We were always big, stand-up comedian people in my family. But since the pandemic started, we literally constantly search for funny things to watch to make us laugh. So we always have ridiculousness on. We always have Grace and Frankie on when Alex is not awake. We always have Schitt's Creek on when Alex is not awake. We love to laugh. We listen to stand-up comedians on Pandora. Did you know you could do that? Did you know you could literally just search a stand-up comedian and they will pull up audio of them? We also watch stand-up comedians on Netflix. You can do that. Laugh. It's okay. Read a funny book. Let me tell you what's really funny. Tell your 6-year-old to tell you a joke. Now listen, it's funny, but it's funny in a different way. It's not funny, haha. It's funny, haha, but it's still funny. And so, do whatever you have to do to take a break to laugh. So the way you are going to be kinder to yourself, mama, is you are going to invest in yourself. You are going to stand in front of the mirror and you are going to tell yourself all the things you like about you. And finally, you are going to laugh. Have you ever played that game? Do you remember that game when we were kids? Everybody would lay on each other's stomachs and you had to go ha, and the next person had to go ha, and you had to do that, and you would feel the person saying ha while your head was on their belly and you couldn't laugh, okay? Well, and then of course that never worked, and everybody would die laughing. It was just the funniest thing ever. Well, do that with your family. Get some giggles in there, you guys, because that will literally, did you know laughing boosts your immune system? Okay, so we're all worried about getting sick. Laugh more. It'll help you. All right, guys. Next week, we are going to be joined by a pharmacist. Yes, a pharmacist. Her name is Lindsay Snyder. She's a very good friend of mine, and she is the founder of Rogue Pharmacist. She's on Instagram. We'll talk all about it next week. But she's going to be talking to us about environmental eczema and what we can do to soothe it. So the winter is coming, and with winter, there's drier weather on its way, and so eczema can really start to flare up. If you have eczema, you know this. Here it comes. Everybody's getting all the creams and what is it, Aquaphor, or like everybody, you know what to do. Well, she's going to give you some good tips because some of that is not just topical. It starts from the inside out, which I'm sure we already kind of know that, but it really bears repeating. And Lindsay, she is very knowledgeable about what she does and what she talks about. So I'm so excited to have her with us next week. Listen, I hope you're having a great week. I say that every week because I mean it. I hope you're having a great week. We are in the final countdown of the election, so make sure you are voting. Early voting has begun in many states, okay? So make sure you get out there and vote, mamas. I'm serious. You got to vote, vote, vote. I love you, but vote, okay? And have you checked out the Taking Back You Momcast online store yet? Visit DaniCarterIdens.com/shop to see what we have. And guess what? I have a little bit of a surprise for you. This week, we are gonna do a giveaway. So go to Facebook.com/Taking Back You Momcast, like the page and write a review, and I will do a drawing of the name. So this starts right now from the second you listen to this through Monday, October 12th, through like 11:59 p.m. Monday, October 12th. Oh man. That's a doozy, that one. Okay, you have till then to enter, and I will reveal the winner at the end of next week's episode. So guess what you get? You're going to get a Taking Back You Momcast mug, and they're really cute. I have them right now because I got a whole bunch so I could do giveaways and stuff. And my husband, he saw it and he was like, I want one. And I was like, well, two things, be a mom and where's your money? No. Okay. So, all right, guys, jump in, get that giveaway, man. Cause these mugs are good. And they're the big mugs. They're the 15 ounces. We don't play over here at Taking Back You Momcast. We quit school cause of recess. We do not play. Okay. So get you that mug, jump over there, Facebook.com/Taking Back You Momcast, like the page, write a review. You'll get thrown into the drawing, and I will share with you the winner next week. Don't forget to subscribe, share this Momcast. I am so glad you're here, guys. We'll be back next week with Lindsay. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. For more information on Taking Back You and the Taking Back You Momcast, visit us at takingbackyou.com. From there, you'll be able to follow us on social media, listen to past episodes, and learn all about the mission of Taking Back You. Be sure to subscribe to get future episodes. And from all of us at Taking Back You, thank you so much for your support.